Thank you so much for downloading this and wanting to look at a case study. So in this case study, we're going to talk about a company that came to us with a challenge. Now they realized that they were spending hours and hours and hours on admin that didn't actually need to be done, and it could be automated. I'm not sure if you've experienced something similar in your business, seeing some obvious gaps which could be improved with automation to improve your client experience, get your staff doing more high priority activities, and allow your business to scale and grow easier. So SWAS, also known as Service with a Smile, is a great little New Zealand company run by Hayley and Lisa. They run a team of demonstrators that demonstrate products in supermarkets. So those guys handing out those delicious snacks on a Sunday or a Saturday or even in the week, these guys run a lot of those people. Now, as you can imagine, that has a lot of different challenges that they have to deal with in their day-to-day issues. So their problem was that they were running off a bunch of different systems, from spreadsheets to emails to forms, and none of it really talked to each other. If someone entered something somewhere, it had to be manually inputted somewhere else, everywhere from billing to client management to the whole works. And as you can imagine, that's really challenging. The system worked. You know, they had a business, they had a running business, but they were very admin heavy, and where they really wanted to be focusing on onboarding new clients and finding, getting better problems, shall we say. You know, isn't that life? Let's get better problems and remove some of the easier ones to solve. So what was the solution? Hayley and Lisa came to Virtual Innovation to have a bit of a chat and go through the way they did things now. They realized there were two things that were important. One is they had a bunch of obvious things that they knew could be done better, they just didn't know how. But they also had a bunch of things that they didn't know could even be improved. You know, as they say, you don't know what you don't know. So we spent a period of time working through and saying, did you know you could potentially do this? We could do that. And not only was that very informative to them and they learned a few new things, they could see how much more systemized their business could become, which both allowed for scalability and growth, but also for lowering risk. If you're relying on too many staff to push admin tasks and you don't have all the documentation in place, it can be a challenge for any organization. So they knew that by systemizing some of the tools they used, we could create a system that made lives a lot easier and lowered that risk that they had in their business. And they could focus on growing it as opposed to running it. And what was the result? So in the early stages for a project, this was not a very, very expensive. We're not talking in the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 range. It was much cheaper than that. We managed to save over 20 hours a week in admin time and costs. Not to mention they had to change staff at one point. And the benefit of having these systems is business carried on as usual, and it was much easier to train the next person that came in because it was so systemized. They could follow a process. And we teach our clients how to actually create video trainings like the one you're watching now to build systems in their business that keep them safe. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into the system we built just to give you a taste of the kind of software we can build. Now the software we build, just before we dig straight into that, is built on top of SaaS platforms. Now what that means is it's software as a service. So our goal is not to build you proprietary systems that no one else can deal with. That's very challenging because what happens is over 2, 3, 4 years as you work with it, it becomes more and more challenging to upgrade it. We look at building systems on top of current platforms that are always being upgraded and serviced. The benefit for you is that the costs long term are lower, and as technology increases, a lot of the work behind the scenes gets done without you having to pay for it. And that's a very valuable thing if you've ever had an old system that you hit your head against the wall on. So we're going to dive in and just have a little look at what we've built for them and kind of why we've done it in a certain way, because I think it may help you understand the value of getting your systems reviewed. Welcome into the system. So in this part of the video, I'm just wanting to walk through a little bit about what we did. So this is a system we've developed for them based on their specific needs. What we find a lot of the time is when you start using off-the-shelf products, the majority of them don't do exactly what you want. So what either happens is you use 10% or 20, maybe 30% of what you've actually been given, and then you start bolting things on. Now this can work for a while, but over time it can become expensive, it can become challenging. As you need things to be adjusted, the complexities can add a bunch of cost that you may not actually want. And not even so much the cost, the training of having to run 6-7 different systems, doing a bunch of things can be a bit frustrating. Now this doesn't mean that you build everything into this system, but there should be a hub for your business which runs the day-to-day activities in our opinion. Now some businesses we speak to really do fit off-the-shelf products, but a lot of companies that have slightly out-of-the-box needs can do really well with a solution that has been developed for them. So with SWAS, they were managing three types of user. They had an admin team member who ran the day-to-day business. They have clients, and then they have staff, the people that were going out to demonstrate the products. So what we did is we created a system looking at all of the main things they needed, and it was all built around a section called schedules. So these are the schedules that clients want. So they want people to go into certain stores at certain times and do certain tastings on certain products. Now these schedules form the hub of the system. All the billing comes off of them. The client management, the clients can now see and log in and see the schedules. The administrator is the word I'm looking for, can jump in and see the clients. Now, as you can imagine, we haven't given you all the data, but they can come in and jump in and they can actually see what the clients have requested, the products, the schedule. They can update staff, their addresses, their information, their details. We make it really simple to make these adjustments. They can add staff members with absolute ease. They can jump in and add products to clients' records. So each client has multiple products in their portfolio and it all works together in sync. I can go through all this. So store lists are all the stores they go to. Point of sale, they were giving out certain objects that they wanted returned and they needed to know what staff member had them. And they also needed a specialist reporting section. And the reports are the reports that are completed in a form once a staff member has been to a store, so they can report back into the success of the client. Now this used to be a real challenge, is that they would have to collate all of these reports, read through all the information, approve them, and then send them to the client. Now this happens on autopilot. There's just a giant list of reports that they're able to check quickly and approve. Once approved, they automatically notify the client, and the client can log in and see what the report was for that tasting. Again, on top of that, we've got billing, wages, and we can also do analytics, so business analytics, to start showing graphs on success and what's happening. So what can happen with a system like this is there's no wastage. There's nothing in this system that they do not use on a daily basis. Now, the benefit of this is although it has cost them money to build it, the amount of hours it's saving, the time, the effort for learning systems are a lot easier because it's everything they need. They're not learning things they don't need to. They haven't got all this wastage of software, and they don't have this flick between spreadsheets and a bunch of other things. We're able to, in the future, integrate this with things like Xero to automate billing. We've looked at a variety of ways to improve it. So it's a system that can grow with your business. As you have more budget to add features, they can be added as requested. But initially, you get such a high uptick in admin, it can save you tens of thousands of dollars a year on administration work by getting the right system. So I hope that's given you a taste of what we've done for the great people at SWAS. Haley and Lisa love the system, and we'd love to have a chat with you. If you think there is something in your business that could be improved, maybe it's a small part of it, maybe it's a large part of it, organise a 15-minute phone call with us, and we can just touch base and see if we're the right fit for you and your organisation. Thank you for your time.